Hi friends, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like your video. Thank you all. In the battle to determine which automaker has the biggest truck nuts, Chevy's late entry needs another 280 horsepower and a wide track stance to measure up to Ford's and Ram's hairiest pair. It's a difference you can see. The sand-snorting 2023 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 ZR2 looks almost ordinary when it's parked next to a Ford F-150 Raptor R or a Ram 1500 TRX. No creatine-stuffed fenders. No colossal 37-inch tires. No bedside stickers advertising that you bought the expensive one. That's no reason to write off the Silverado ZR2, though. To the extent that anything this big and this blue can be subtle, the ZR2 is a sleeper, a vehicle that performs better than it looks. When you drive it, you'll quickly discover that the Silverado ZR2 has more capability and more bravado than most drivers who will climb behind the wheel. It might not flex as hard as a Raptor or TRX in the gym parking lot, but it can hold its own in the dirt, mud, and sand. Chevrolet's $71,895 off-road flagship is powered by the same mighty 6.2-liter V8 that's also available in upper-trim Silverados such as the highfalutin High Country. It's a natural fit in either application, as this big displacement, small block engine has the manners to match a near-luxury vehicle and the grunt to motivate a performance model. A quick-witted 10-speed automatic picks the right gears at all the right moments, which means that the engine's 420 horsepower and 460 pounds-to-foot of torque are always at the ready. If there's a complaint, it's that this engine is almost too civilized for a truck this wild. Even at full throttle, the ZR2's exhaust note is a subdued rumble rather than a primordial roar. The 5,789-pound ZR2 will hit 60 miles per hour in 6.1 seconds and clear the quarter mile in 14.6 seconds at 95.1 miles per hour before crashing into its 98 mile per hour electronic speed limiter. A Raptor with Ford's 450 horsepower twin-turbo V6 reaches 60 miles per hour half a second quicker, and a Ram 1500 Rebel with a 395 horsepower Hemi V8 needs an additional 0.3 seconds beyond the Chevy's time. The TRX, and presumably the Raptor R, which we haven't yet tested, is in another league. With no 700-plus horsepower V8 to steal the show, the ZR2's main attraction is a set of 4 brilliantly tuned Multimatic spool valve dampers. Compared to the stacked discs in conventional shocks, spool valves offer engineers finer control over damping attributes and more consistent performance over the life of the truck. Each ZR2 damper pushes fluid through one of 3 valve bodies depending on the wheel position. As the suspensions near the extremes of their 9.6 inches of travel in front and 10.6 inches of travel in back, the dampers rely on the valves that have been tuned for big hits and jumps. That suspension travel pales in comparison to the Raptors, which maxes out at 14.0 and 15.0 inches front and rear, respectively. But unless you're routinely making flight plans into the automotive stratosphere, you're unlikely to miss the extra squish. At Michigan's Bundy Hill Off-Road Park, which is alternately sandy, rocky, wide open, wooded, dry, mud-slicked, fast, and slow, I never needed more cushion than the Silverado could deliver. The ZR2 gathered up big whoops, deep ruts, and rocks I never saw coming and made them disappear without so much as a wince. Chevy ZR2 takes a purist's approach to off-roading. It finds traction with the help of locking front and rear differentials and a transfer case that offers 2 high, auto, 4 high, and 4 low modes. The 33-inch BF Goodrich Wrangler Territory Mount tires, the largest that the Silverado body permits, don't need a claw for grip. They simply grab the ground and propel the Silverado forward. Notably, there's no anti-roll bar disconnect, no programmable damper settings, and no active exhaust. With few adjustable elements, there are just 2 driving modes beyond the default tour setting, unhelpfully named off-road and terrain. Off-road is intended for higher speed antics, while terrain is tuned for slower rock crawling action. Don't read this as a complaint, though. It's refreshing to drive a modern performance vehicle in 2022 and not be distracted by a barrage of fiddly settings that have a trivial impact on the driving experience. More surprising than the ZR2's off-road ability is its on-road sophistication. On pavement, those spool valve dampers deliver better body control than the hardware in road-oriented Silverados. A firm ride squelches body roll without being harsh or jarring. In cornering and over rough pavement, The ZR2's movements are remarkably tidy for a 3-ton truck that's capable of momentary flight. Some of the credit for that is likely due to the structural rigidity that you can feel. Or maybe it's more accurate to say that you can't feel the same structural shortcomings that you notice in other trucks. Ford's F-150 jitters and flexes more than the Silverado, although it's often well masked by the Raptor's pillowy suspension. The Silverado's broad skill set is a testament to Chevy's engineers as much as it is the Multimatic damper technology. That the ZR2 team had the confidence and the competence to tune this truck to fulfill its multiple missions, hardcore off-roading, towing, hauling, and daily commuting, with a single calibration is rare and remarkable. Crucially, and unlike the 2021 model, the Silverado's interior no longer undermines a price tag as hefty as the ZR2's. Chevy's 2022 mid-cycle refresh brought a more modern and more upscale design that is dominated by large digital screens measuring 12.3 inches in front of the driver and 13.4 inches in the center stack. Wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay compatibility comes standard, while a $1,970 technology package adds a head-up display, a rear-view camera mirror, adaptive cruise control, and a power tilt/telescoping steering wheel. But what we like more than any of that are the large, easy-to-use physical controls, both for the climate system and for secondary controls. Along with the crisp, clear screen graphics, the Silverado's controls are intuitive from the moment you first climb aboard. Too few automakers make that a priority these days. The appeal of the optional $445 multi-flex tailgate, on the other hand, isn't exactly obvious. This Rube Goldberg machine of a tailgate folds into a step or a work surface or a bench or a load stop for longer cargo. But it's heavy and clumsy to operate and seems like more hassle than help. Plus, the simple steps molded into the corners of the rear bumper make it easy enough to climb into the ZR2's lofted bed. Compared to other dune-bashing, hump-jumping pickup truck caricatures, the Silverado ZR2 looks like a cartoon with the wrong features emphasized. Its narrow shoulders and, relatively, small tires seem out of proportion with its glowering face and towering ride height. We do wish that Chevy designers and engineers had been cut loose to build a ZR2 that squared up with Ford and Ram's gnarliest trucks, but the ZR2 we got is worth celebrating for what it is. While it may not have the street cred of a Raptor or a TRX, the Silverado ZR2 has off-road capability that's far, far broader than its track width.